producer
to talk
has
about tonight.
our producer has given us an ultimatum. You perform, monkeys, or you're dead. So,
That's just fine. It's fine.
yeah, we're gonna do our
That's
best
fine.
to perform
Yeah.
for you all. Okay. So hey, what's going on,
Hi.
everyone? Welcome to the Cold Show on this wonderful Friday evening. It's like 70 degrees out, and it looks exactly like winter's supposed to look. So on a typical,
Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine.
everything is
Okay.
great. Yes.
My cat is here, so she wants to say hi. So
Well, please,
Wow.
hello,
okay, now
Stitches.
she just left. It's fine.
And she ran.
She ran.
So what is going on, everyone? Welcome again, like we said, to this wonderful Friday. We are pumped up because we have what we're hoping is a wonderful show. We did a lot.
Oh, it will be.
One movie, only one film that we were
Yes.
able to watch multiple times. Deep dive into. It's going to be a hoot.
I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. One that was robbed of its place on the list during Halloween.
It was.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. Democracy in action, and it didn't make the cut, but it's in my heart.
I would have stormed the Capitol to get this one on the list, though. So
I mean, except for we are the capital, so it's cyclical. It's cyclical.
It is. You're right.
Yes.
All right. So real quick, what do we have in our cups tonight? What is in the
may I go
goblet of
first?
Sandra? Please.
Yes. Can I just share my thing to you? Not what I watched, but why I sound weird if I sound weird.
Sure.
So my floors and my wall were like flood damaged, and we had to get them fixed, and they just finished fixing it today, like seriously maybe 15 minutes before we started the call. So there's nothing in here, so it's like I'm in a cavern. That's my space. I told them I feel like a ghost. That's like what my little station looks like. And that's where I'm sitting. It's very sad, but I'm so thankful to have this like done and have a floor and walls that aren't filled with water. So that's what's up, hey.
My
We're
face is
recording
next to
from
you.
home. Yeah. Hi, Neil. And I am drinking a new Lagunitas non-alcoholic IPA that I have not tried. It's very pretty. It's like purple and red. And it's supposed to be very hoppy.
You love the hops.
I love the hops.
Nice.
That's what I got.
All right.
Oh, look, gotta open it. Oh, cheesy, crazy.
I always look forward to seeing what
I'm gonna hit
Caleb
myself
has.
in the face.
Can you do
Oh,
that? That'd
Jesus.
be awesome. No?
It's open. Now it's a party.
All right, finally.
I liked it so much last week that I did another red wine sangria.
Sangria.
Changed my recipe up a little bit, so we'll see how this one goes. But
you got all that muddled fruit.
Yeah, no muddled, just chopped up fruit that I put in the refrigerator.
Chunky fruit, monkey
marinated
fruit.
in red wine for a few hours.
Love it. That's great.
For a few hours. Dang, man.
Damn, he thought ahead.
He
That's
did.
what
He found ahead.
sangria is.
Well, true, but
Or
very good.
What about you, Twinsy?
I got real simple. Like we were talking before the show, I've been very exhausted the past couple of days, including today, like almost wanting to fall asleep at work if I was so allowed. So I just got as much caffeine as I could fit in this mug, and then poured a bunch of whiskey on top of it. So
Holy shit! Okay,
just a Jack and Coke.
It's like
thing.
it's like a pitcher.
Yeah, and my Freddy
like a pitcher of Jack and Coke.
Yeah, damn.
My giant Freddy mug. So that's what I'm doing. Got to keep myself awake. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Happy
friends.
Friday.
Cheers. That's very hoppy. This tastes like straight up legit beer. Only there's no booze in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're gonna get.
That's why everyone drinks beer. They like the taste, not the alcohol.
IPNA.
IP and A.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see who is joining us tonight, shall we?
Yes.
We have Space Face.
Hey, go ahead.
Welcome back. Of course, we have the illustrious, the talented Hungry Boy.
So talented. So much luster.
So much luster. He's right. You should be a gem. Um,
So much spit and polish.
Mark Visions Truth, all the way from East Washington. Welcome back, buddy.
What's up?
Todd, good old Todd from the 209 joining.
Oop, I hit the mic.
We're learning that Todd apparently has a lot of information in this kind of in this realm of horror as well. So I'm guessing he might have some fun pieces to sprinkle in.
Yes, more folk horror people like myself. It's not enough of us.
All right, and Pismo Mark, of course, is back. Hello, Pismo.
What's up? Welcome.
And Lewis, our good friend Lewis, he's joining us after a couple weeks of absence. Welcome back.
He's like an IRL friend, not just like someone we've met on the internet.
Right.
All right, and we've got, of course, our two wonderful ladies this week. We're going to call them the Dyad of Dread, Laura and Mindy in the house.
I love a dyad. I love a
Yes.
dyad.
Who doesn't love a dyad?
I'm so glad they're here. I'm so glad they're here.
Well, Mindy, you came back, so that means you're not hating on us for doing a remake episode last week. We appreciate that. Thanks for giving us a second shot. And Kenneth, we got Kenneth, or as we know him, Yo Vanilla. What's up?
I feel like
Welcome
I haven't seen Kenneth in a minute.
It's been a while. Yeah.
So,
And then Doc
welcome back.
Pretorius, wonderful Doc Pretorius, one of our cult
Hello.
one of our cult film series regulars, is back, and he always seems to come for these type of films, ones of the classics that we do, like this. He
Yes.
seems to love. So welcome
Love it.
back, Doc.
Welcome back.
And I think that is about it for now. So
Yeah,
anyone else?
say
who's-
hi
Yeah,
if you
please
are.
say hi if you haven't said so yet. We do want to interact with you.
Yes.
All right, Sandra.
Yeah.
Aside from your house being torn apart,
Yeah. It's been
what
great.
else is going
Yeah.
on?
That's really the big thing is my house being torn apart. You know, it's just weird when you feel very displaced. But of course, I've still been able to watch some things on streaming. Mostly I've been watching people cook under duress because it calms me in stressful situations. And I also watched on Netflix the new docu-series, The Night Stalker, which is of course about Night Stalker Richard Ramirez. I'm a huge true crime fan. I always felt like I knew a lot about this case and about Richard Ramirez. And it's very interesting because this series, it's like he's hardly in it at all. And it's in a really cool way because it's really from the perspective of the detectives that, you know, were trying to solve all of the cases that were involving him, of all the people he terrorized. And it's just really, really well done. One survivor is in there, and then also family members of victims. And it's just really well made and super, super interesting point of view. Got to check it out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
And that, you know, that happened in your beloved 80s. Because there was bad things that happened in the 80s. Yeah.
There was, I mean, you gotta have one thing happen that's bad, I guess, in order to
Yeah, that's right. That was the one thing everybody
good.
sends your mail to Neil. Track that to Neil, but the one
The
bad
one
thing that
thing.
happened in the 80s.
Caro, giant mug full of
Something.
whiskey and. All right, Caleb. Sorry, go ahead.
You know, I watched a lot, but the only thing really worth mentioning is I finally watched season 2 of The Mandalorian, and it was
Yay!
fucking awesome. So loved it.
I'm so glad you got to see it because when I finished it, I was like, Caleb,
I know
the
you
one to
texted
get
me.
it. Yeah. And he hadn't, so I
and
was
it
like,
wasn't
okay,
in a
just no
group
spoilers.
either. It was just you and me.
No.
Yeah, so
I
that was pretty
text
special.
you. I text you,
it's
sir.
just, you know, it's not that often that it's just
It's our
you
thing.
and I.
This is our thing. Yeah. Fuck
and
all these other people.
I should have texted you back as soon as I finished it and said,
yeah, wait, now that you bring
finally
that up.
watched it. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I dropped the ball, but I was just like in the afterglow of
having a good, as I call it,
orgasmic bliss. That is The Mandalorian.
As they call it, the Star Wars sob, where I just like retreat inward and I'm like, Star Wars. Blah. Yeah. Love it. Love it.
I love you guys.
We love you too, Ned.
Ned. Okay, I watched finally. I'm so happy I finally realized this was on Hulu. Gretel and Hansel.
Yes, I
So
saw that.
yes, and hands down the best thing I watched in 2020 or from 2020. So
Wow.
yeah,
Oh my God.
it is.
Was on my list.
Yeah, it's a brilliant. I mean, I absolutely loved it. So I cannot recommend that film enough to everyone. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to look at. I mean, the cinematography, the music, the acting, everything about it was fantastical, phantasmagorical. I mean, it was everything.
It's beautiful. It's folk horror. It's got a really cool feminist message. It's like reading a really good like dark fantasy novel.
Yeah,
Like just
yeah,
kind of come to life in front of you by the genius Osgood Perkins,
yeah,
of whom I love everything he does.
yeah. Seeing Alice
Yeah.
Krige again in a nice, good chunky role, you know. So it was just
Yeah.
I mean, for a PG-13 film, I was blown away at how good it was. It had some creepy imagery. I mean, it was really good, really
Yeah.
good,
Real good.
really good
Watch
shoot.
it. You should watch. We should watch it together and just talk
Okay.
about it. Just like you can just be like, oh my God, I love it so much.
Yeah, great flick, great flick. So I was finally excited to see something and go like, oh my god, like be all floored by it. So, and otherwise, I want to share. Can I share?
Yes.
So I got this
course.
in the post via the post. Mommy, I got this in the post. It is the Fly Blu-ray set.
What?
Wow.
So it's
Look at that.
it's got the original Fly, Return of the Fly, The Curse of the Fly, and then it's got the 86 and the Fly 2, which of course I've been trying to get everyone to watch. But so the Fly 2 you couldn't really get on Blu-ray anywhere. So it's like, well, I guess I'll order this whole new set just to get that. But it's cool. I mean, the artwork on the outside is pretty cool looking, and it's got my favorite Melty Man, from part 2. Remember, he was on one of my favorite kills episode.
Yes,
Yep.
he was.
So, anyway, so
It's got some Vincent Price on the cover.
Vincent Price. No, it's got everything. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Who
that's
released
awesome.
that?
It's a Shout Factory, Scream Factory type of
nice.
deal. So
Nice.
anyway, so I got this. I'm excited to put these in the Blu-ray player and start watching. So, and then hopefully one day maybe on the big screen, pop them on there. You never know.
You're just gonna make us watch The Fly 2. I know it. You're just gonna like kidnap us, hold us hostage, and make us all watch The Fly 2.
Oh, there's no question. It's an absolute. It's gonna be like like a hostage Beirut kind of thing all over again. I mean, it's just gonna be, yeah. But
I had a
that's
feeling.
okay. I know you're gonna love it. I'm telling you. Hey, and then real quick, I want to update everyone on the whole Save Our Stages legislation. If you don't mind, since I've been kind of pleading this thing, I thought I would update everyone as to what's going on in case you're not aware. But there was that Save Our Stages that was proposed as a package with everything else that was signed back in, I guess that was the very end of December when Trump finally signed it. And there was about $15 billion that was allocated towards live venues and museums and zoos and movie theaters, that kind of thing. So that got passed, and then the name got changed actually from Save Our Stages to something else now called the Shuttered Venues Operator Grant. So the SVOG basically is something that is coming through the line soon. I had a webinar a couple of days ago with the Small Business Association who is administrating it. They don't have their chat together yet. I'm sorry, we're doing a picture soon about Scottish. They're shite. You don't have it together yet. But hopefully soon they're going to have applications and what they need to get it going for the theaters and the live venues and that kind of stuff to start applying for these grants. But it is happening. So for everyone who wrote their congressperson, who did follow the links that I was pleading for you to do and do all that, it made a difference because they were inundated with people saying, please help, please help. So I just want to let everyone know that it passed, and I thank everyone for their help in making that happen. So everyone should get a round of applause for that.
Woo! good
So
job.
it
We did
means
a
a lot.
thing, people. We did a thing.
We did a thing. We did a group thing together. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that were harassing their Congress people, So I mean, it worked out. So that's great news.
And for the record, that's the correct way to harass your Congress people.
Right. No, emails
Yeah.
and letters is the way
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean,
That's
you
the
can
way you're
sit
supposed
outside
to.
their house with binoculars like I do, but it just gets you kicked out eventually. So,
And you're just like, hey, I made you a sandwich. You want a sandwich?
yeah, I mean, egg salad. Been sitting in my
shit-
car for 8 hours.
Shit sandwich. Sorry,
Just come
shat
get in my
sandwich.
van. Get in
Sorry,
my van.
shite sandwich.
Shite.
Oh my God, people, get it together.
Otherwise, okay, so I guess that takes us to this week in entertainment history.
Yay!
We're there already.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. All right.
Yes.
Let's get started with January 12th, 1966. Batman, starring Adam West and Burt Ward, premieres on ABC.
Love it.
Bam! Fuck!
So good.
Let's see. January 13th. This is an interesting one. Sandra, did you know that on January 13th in 1928, RCA and GE installed 3 test television sets in homes in Schenectady, New York, allowing American inventor E.F.W. Alexanderson to demonstrate the first home television receiver, which delivered a 1.5-inch square picture.
I didn't know that. I didn't know any of it.
Huge.
Oh, wow.
Huge.
Okay. Huge. Okay.
It's great news.
Great news, right? That was 1928, though. I'm just saying, that was a long time ago.
No, it was a long ass time
Right.
ago.
I was 2 years old. I don't remember that. So
Yeah.
And the mom of the house probably said, "Don't sit so close. It's
That's
bad
right.
for your eyes."
Exactly.
They
The
probably
kids
said
are
it was the
"Mom,
devil's
it's
box."
1.5 inch.
Yeah, they're like, it's the devil's box. Throw water on it.
All right. On January 14th, there was 3 70s TV staples that premiered. So January 14th, for some reason, 3 different TV shows that were fairly popular from the 70s premiered.
What are they?
Which was Sanford and Son in 1972.
Okay.
That's Sanford and Sons.
Come
Yeah.
on, I'm coming.
The
Here I come,
Bionic
Elizabeth.
Woman. Yes. The Bionic Woman in 1976. And finally, Fantasy Island in 1977. All premiered
plane.
on January 14th.
You want to know something super random?
Sure.
I never watched Sanford and Son growing up. Like, I didn't have any channels that showed it in syndication. But my
Okay.
dad always liked that show from when it was on TV, and now he watches it on YouTube. And like, he sends me episodes like, "Oh, this is the Christmas episode" or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck these people are, Dad. I'm sorry. But one of these days I'll watch them so I can be a part of this show that is like 40 something years old.
Yes.
I'll be a part of that
Sanford
fan
and
that
Sons.
lasts.
Oh,
It's yeah.
So yeah, it's a cultural phenomenon, man. Red Fox. Oh, hysterical.
I mean, I know about it. It's just
Right.
I feel very late to the game and like very late to the party.
Well, Sandra, I appreciate you admitting that, because admitting it's half the battle. So once you just take ownership of that, then we can start curing you. So it's okay.
Yo, Joe.
Knowing it's half the battle. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Yeah. Very funny. Very funny.
Okay. January 14th, 1957, Humphrey Bogart passed away from cancer of the esophagus. So yesterday's date in 1957.
I'm a big fan.
This one's even harder for me. Yesterday, 5 years ago, basically marked the anniversary that we lost Alan Rickman. 5 years ago yesterday.
Wow.
That one hurts.
Yeah, it's still fresh.
That one is a fresh wound, absolutely. There's another one for Sandra. Man, you're all over this one this week, Sandra. Today's date in 1975, Space Mountain opened.
I love Space Mountain. It's so
Space
much
Mountain.
fun. It's so much fun.
So good.
Well, that was
So
at
good.
Disneyland, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Right, Macy? Such a good ride, right, Macy?
So good. Okay, and finally, tomorrow, tomorrow's date is John Carpenter's birthday. So John
Wow.
Carpenter.
Yay! Oh my gosh, so excited.
How
I
old is he
should,
going to be?
Well, he was born in 1948, so you figure that
Ugh,
out.
that's
Ew,
hard
that's
math.
math.
That's hard math.
That's
Yeah.
math.
That's
Um,
like
73 years
Scott,
old.
73
you,
Should I
Scott.
like send him a cake? Do you think I should send him a cake?
You haven't already?
I'll send him a cake tomorrow.
Yeah, do it. Why not? I'm
Okay,
sure
I'll send him a cake.
Sure.
he would probably love it. Why not?
He's gonna eat the
It
whole
can-
thing in one sitting.
Be like a Michael. It can be like look like William Shatner, but only all white. Or
Oh, yeah. I was gonna
Um,
say he's done so many of my favorite movies.
right. Or
Maybe
it
I
could
should
be
just go
like
sing. I'll just go sing to him.
it
Like
could
I'll
be,
sing "Hero" by Mariah Carey to him.
there you go. Right outside his house. That'd be friggin' awesome.
Just make sure you film it.
I will. Live stream it.
I think I was saying you could send him a cake of We Live, and it can taste like dog do. That would kind of thing. But
So We Live. I'm sorry, I'm not
no,
familiar
They
with
Live.
the movie.
Sorry, They Live.
Yeah,
You send him a cake of They Live.
Wow, your joke kind of fell flat when
He
you didn't
lives,
even get
she
the
lives,
the
they
name
live.
right, the thing.
We Live. They Live. It's,
Get
Get
your
out of here,
pronouns
Ned.
right. Get your pronouns right.
Get out of here, Ned. Nobody cares
told
about
you guys I was tired. What's this Ned thing you're calling me all of a sudden? What is going on with that?
I just want to call you the wrong name, so it looks like
That's
we
fine.
don't care about who you are, and that's your real name.
I know you don't care. I've
Can we call him-
been
can we call
aware of
him
that
Ned
for quite a
Flanders?
while.
Ned Flanders.
Oh,
Go
can
on,
be- can be-
Twinsy.
okay. Anyway, also real quick, James Menard, Jimmy joined us. Jimmy's in the chat.
What up, Jimmy?
Hey, Jimmy. Finally, new subscriber alert. We have 3 this week. Yes, 3
What?
more.
It makes up for
Great.
Getting
last
closer.
week.
Go.
2 of them are
With it.
private. One of them is Meg D, as in dog. Meg D. Hello, Meg.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Hi,
being
for
here.
Meg.
Thank you, 2 privates. and Thank you, Meg.
So the 2
Wow,
privates,
Caleb,
I'm assuming.
don't talk about your privates. It's weird.
I'm assuming they're ashamed of us. They don't want to admit that they subscribe, so they just go
It's
private.
probably John Carpenter.
Oh
this
yeah,
we know. Yeah.
Probably.
you're right.
Yeah.
All right. Otherwise, I'm going to ball it up and I'm going to pass to Sandra.
Yoink. Okay, I got it. So this is exciting. This is the first time we've named this type of episode that we're doing.
Yes.
It's a deep dive. It's a deep dive.
Deep dive.
Yes. So hold your
Yeah.
nose.
I don't-
Hold your nose.
we have an intro. I just don't know if it was supposed to happen yet. It's supposed to happen during the other part. So
Is
if
it
you're waiting for
happening?
Scott, no. I don't know. Well, we can
Yeah.
wait. We'll do it.
Oh, no,
okay,
just
never
kidding.
mind. She wants it now.
I
care.
don't know. Okay, don't do
know.
it yet.
You guys
Don't do it
plan
yet.
these things and don't include us, so we don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
So tonight, for our first deep dive episode, we will be talking about the beloved, the amazing, the illustrious Wicker Man. The Wicker Man.
Wicker Man.
Wicker
Wicker Man.
Man.
I have to say Wicker Man because that's the way Christopher Lee says it, and I love it. So thrilled to talk about this movie, one of my all-time favorites, and we're doing a deep dive, which is kind of what we've done before when we talk about a film, especially if we talk about a singular film, but we really actually did our homework, took time, and researched shit to present to y'all. I mean,
Yeah. Yep.
we're good. We're really good. We are hashtag profesh. Super profesh.
Oh my goodness. All right. Now the bar is raised.
Neil, for you, that would be a pound sign. Pound sign.
Oh, pound sign. Yes, like on the touch-tone phones. Okay.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I get it. Let's do it. Hash brown. Let's do it.
Hash brown. Hash brown.
Country
go for some-
potatoes.
I should go for,
Yeah.
for some hash browns right now.
Hash browns. Okay. All right. Sandra, you must have your little synopsis like you always do, right?
I do. So, this film is about Detective Sergeant Howie, who leaves from the mainland to investigate a mysterious disappearance on a very little known island called Summer Isle. So he's going there because he received communique that there was a girl who was missing named Rowan. So when he arrives at the island, he is met by kind of opposition from the friendly but very eccentric townspeople who at first claim that they don't know any Rowan. They don't know who this girl is. So he is kind of one man against this entire island trying to figure out why would someone tell him to come there to look for this missing girl when all he's coming up against are brick walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And if you haven't seen this movie, you are doing yourself a disservice. We're obviously going to have to spoil it, but it's a real gem. Like, I mean, it's a great film. It's a great film. Of course, if you don't like it, you don't like it. But I think most people, you kind of love it, right? Like a lot of people love this movie.
Yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't, man. I tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you don't like horror, I think you're fine with this film because it's got elements of horror. But there's so much in this film that
it's
to pick apart.
Horror, it's folk horror. It's a thriller. It's a mystery. It is damn near a musical. It's damn near a musical because music plays such a huge part of this. Yep. And I would be remiss if I didn't start this out by asking Caleb, what did you think of it? Because you've never seen this, right?
This is my first time. Yeah. I thought it was great. I really did. So I've seen the remake, so I kind of knew things, but
that's the last we'll speak of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I loved it. I thought it was great.
You had a good time.
I had a really good time. So, fuck, man, I just wish that we could watch these together. I really do.
I know.
And I don't even just mean the four of us. I mean all of you guys out there,
Yes.
in chat right now. I wish all of us were in an auditorium together, watching this movie, laughing, talking,
singing.
Talking shit, singing, whatever.
Mostly singing.
Lots of singing, lots and lots of singing about corn rigs and barley rigs. Corn rigs.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Baba Black Sheep and
I know we're gonna get into it, but for me, gosh, it's hard to pick a favorite, but I would often call this my favorite Christopher Lee role, and I was a huge fan of Christopher Lee. But I just love him in this film. I found him so charming and so incredible, and kind of playing this brighter character that you don't always get to see from him. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
So my part of the deep dive is I'll be here to answer all your questions about paganism as it is represented in the film. Fun fact, I'm actually not a pagan educator or an expert, but I am somebody that's been studying the occult, paganism, any sort of mystical arts since I was a teenager. So I know a pretty good amount, and I did some research too. So I'm happy to share some things that have, that I could find like, yes, that is based on something. That's a real thing. Or no, that was just for the film.
Yep. Okay. Let's dive in. Let's start talking about the movie. No. Yes?
Don't you love it?
Anyone in the chat that was inspired from first person who says it gets Sandra gives you $1. So
I don't have that.
You don't have $1?
I know.
You don't have $1?
We spent it all on our flooring.
Do you have 4 quarters? Maybe 4 quarters?
Maybe if I look in like underneath the seats in my car, I just dropped all my notes.
You dropped all your notes.
100 pennies?
I found my notes, guys. It's okay. I'm ready. I'm ready for the show.
200 halfpence.
So let's talk about the film. Let's recount. Let's do something with this film. So, what do we think about the wonderfully named, first of all, Neil Howie? What do we think about him?
I think he's a loser.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Hated him. Absolutely hated him.
Yeah, I admire his sense of justice to find out what happened to a child in this weird, thing. But that's about all that I like about him, because he's a bully, he's rude, he's super disrespectful of other people's cultures. He's part of some weird Calvinist religion shit that I don't like. Um and he's
Yeah.
just no fun. He's no
Yeah,
darn
no.
fun.
If he's supposed to be the moral compass in the movie, like, no, thank you. I
No, me
just
neither. I'm gonna go the other way.
like I grew up with a lot of people like that, and I just like no. I just, as soon as he just started talking about God and religion, and I'm just like, nope, 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 shut it down, shut it down,
Shut it down. He's
go
got
away.
he's got that holier than thou attitude, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he's
He
not
is.
afraid to say it either. And that's the thing. It's like, dude,
Oh,
like,
it's the audacity.
respect other people's opinions. But he's like, no, God and morals. And,
Yeah. He goes to their home and he's disrespectful and rude. Yeah.
Yeah.
The audacity, the gall of this man.
Yeah, no, thank
Yeah.
you.
I know he's endearing to me because of his convictions and the fact that he sticks to them so staunchly, and his I mean just the way he just conducts himself, the whole straight lace thing. And I don't know, it's uh, obviously I don't agree with his ideology. It's not one that I share. However, I respect the fact that he just goes in there and he's just like, this is how I am and this is the way it is, and
Right.
Christianity, blah blah blah, and you can't teach the children
Yeah.
this. I'm going to report you to the constable, the head constable general, blah blah. I mean, the whole
Yeah.
thing. He is.
So you're saying you love censorship. You love
only when it's you being censored, Sandra. Otherwise, no.
Yeah,
So,
no, he has some opinions about the way life should be conducted, and if it doesn't fit into his view, he's like,
Right.
it's not
he
fair.
had they all have, there's some great lines in this film, but the one he has early on, I can't remember. Oh God, I wish I could remember what was going on, but he says to some people, he's like, oh yeah, you're raving mad. Like the way like he talks about something, I can't remember what the heck it was, but it was just I mean I like him as a character, because I find he's engaging and endearing, and he's, again, because he's just so staunch on his views. You know what I mean? And regardless,
I love you,
that's all.
Neil. I love you. Endearing, not the word I would use. Fascinating, compelling, a great foil for the plot. Endearing, not one of my words, though.
Okay, I find him endearing. Can I find him endearing? Is that okay?
You just want to chuck him under the chin and be like, "Hey, you go get him, slugger."
Yeah, exactly. Yes. You know what? Some Dark Pretoria said in the chat, and this is great. He's like the original 40-year-old virgin. And it's like, you know what? You're
Yes.
absolutely right.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
gotta-
no, this is a no-fly zone.
Yes.
Below this police officer's
Right.
belt.
Nope, exactly. And I'm just saying, you got to give it up for him to stand by his morals, we'll call them, for as crazy as we may think they are. That's all. So
He does masturbate against a wall pretty furiously. We'll get to some more about Howie and his zealotry towards the end of the discussion, I think.
Okay, towards the end. Okay.
Yeah. Well, because there's a lot of theories about the ending of this film, so I'd like to, when we
Gotcha.
discuss the ending, we'll discuss the ending.
You got it. Okay. What else?
Well, so he doesn't like pagan people.
He makes
That's
that quite clear.
He makes that real clear. So, of course, a pagan is basically a person that does not follow the mainstream religion. And in this, especially, it's in terms of people who don't follow Christianity. They have their own religion. And on Summer Isle, they work with the old gods, as they call it, kind of the old ways. They borrow some from real Gaelic, Celtic deities, and then they also kind of made some stuff up as well as far as their deities are concerned. I want you guys to just fire the pagan questions at me as we discuss. Fire them away. fire.
Fire. So in the wonderful 1980s film Dragnet with Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd,
Yes.
they have a group of pagans that are
Yes.
the quote unquote bad guys of the film, and it's an acronym in that movie, and it stands for People Against Goodness and Normalcy. So
Yes.
I don't know if that something I've retained in my little brain all these years I thought was funny. I don't know.
I think Sergeant Howie would agree.
He probably would agree.
I think he would have been hitting the yes button, like, yeah, I fucking hate pagans. That's totally them.
He would have been, ding, ding, ding. What is correct, Alex? So
Right.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, to start out, kind of a cool thing is, I mean, I guess at some point we're going to have to talk about the music, but at the start of the movie, there's a film. I mean, oh my God, help me. Someone send help. At the start of the film, there is a song. There's a tree and the tree becomes a man and the man becomes a seed.
Oh, yes.
No, not that one, where they reference Lunasa Lamas, whatever you call it. There's different ways to pronounce it, which is a Gaelic holiday. That's referenced in the song, which is kind of the start of the harvest season. There's a big harvest theme throughout this, and fertility of the fields. They also talk about Beltane, May Day, which of course is a huge event for a lot of different pagan cultures, interpreted a lot of different ways. So that is, of course, accurate. And that falls on May 1st, halfway between the spring and summer equinoxes. And then it would be kind of like, they have their end of the harvest picture where they have the queen and they have all the bountiful foods out there. That would be around Samhain, our beloved Samhain. Halloween is the end of the harvest season. So that would be where that would take place. So that's kind of cool how, without explaining a whole lot of exposition, you kind of see how, already we know that these people are very tied to the land, they're very tied to nature, and they're very tied to these harvest fertility festivals of yore.
Okay. Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's some of these things, like you say, they bring up like the May Day and the May Queen, all these kind of things. Of course, we've heard from other films since as well.
Yes.
Like, I mean, of course, like Midsommar being the biggest one probably recently, but absolutely. Right. So I know my grandmother was dating, believe it or not, living with a man.
A man?
In sin.
A Wicker Man?
A Wicker Man. He was a Polish man made of wicker, but I guess May Day is a thing as well in the Eastern European
tons,
thing. It's a fairly large thing for them. So I remember hearing about that when I was just, a wee lad way back when as well. So
it's a good holiday. I think it's a lot of fun. It's celebrated, like I said, by lots of different cultures. It's been appropriated and absorbed by Christianity, as so often is the case with all holidays and traditions. But it's a sexy, fun holiday. You see the women jumping over the fire. That's a part of it that they would do in a lot of cultures, especially Gaelic ones, jumping over the fire, leading cattle around or through bonfires, all for like the idea of fertility, of longevity, protecting oneself from natural and supernatural elements. It's considered a lusty, sexy holiday. It's fire, it's passion. I really liked how that was kind of captured in the film, because for them, like, this is great. This is super fun. People are having sex outside. It's awesome, right? And he's just like clutching his pearls. And they're like, no, it's cool. We're having a good time,
Right. Yeah. So like in that line where, I mean, he's like, they're jumping through fire. They're naked. He's like, well, would you jump through fire with your clothes on? That's dangerous.
Like, obviously, bro.
Duh.
Why would they do that? Yeah, I love that because, being naked, there's a lot of nudity in this film, and spells and rituals and things being done naked. And especially in the neo-pagan community, that's called being sky-clad. When you're naked, you're free, you're in a natural state. And it's a very, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Abrahamic religion, nonsense to be like naked is bad, nudity is bad. And it's like it's not necessarily, it's just a natural way of being. Of course, you have to get everybody's consent to be naked around them. So don't just think you can go around that.
I should write that down. Okay.
Consent to be naked around
to be naked
other
around
people.
other people. Okay.
Other people.
People.
Yeah.
People. People. Okay.
Yeah, however you're gonna remember it, write it down that way.
Okay. P. Okay. Got it.
People. Yeah.
P-E-E-P-O-L.
P-O-L-E.
P-O-L-E.
People.
Right. Got it. Nailed it.
Peephole, like a maypole. The maypole.
Not a peephole, but a people.
Spelling bee champ.
Okay.
Not the
The music in this movie, you touched about it, but can we get into it a little bit more? So
please.
The opening song again, which is awesome. The whole barley, what was it? The corn rigs and the barley
rigs.
Yeah. Awesome folky songs. Yes. I don't know, man. It's such 70s goodness.
Oh my God. It's such 70s cheesy, it's like the Vaseline you rub all over the lens, which we have in some scenes of this film. It's like that poured into music. It's wonderful.
It is so good. It's just, corn rigs and barley rigs and corn rigs and whatever else.
It's a bop. It is a bop.
God, it's so good. And then
that band's name was Magnet, I think.
Magnets, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second song they break into in the inn. When you go, what's it called? The Green Man Inn.
The Green Man, which is relevant. The Green Man. Can I tell you about? You want to know about the Green Man?
Oh, please.
So the Green Man is actually a very common name for pubs, but the Green Man himself is a kind of pagan figure. You see him all over Europe, and you see them on secular and non-secular buildings, and it's this face kind of surrounded by all the vegetation, and it's up to some interpretation, but it's basically a person, a being, a deity of the earth. So I love a Green Man. I think it's so it makes my heart sing looking at that happy little face surrounded by leaves. In another life, I hope to be a Green Man.
Really? All right.
So that was a really cool little kind of Easter egg in there too, about if you're familiar with what a Green Man is.
Okay. Awesome.
So they're in there. They're in the Green Man.
They're in the Green Man. And then they break into a wonderful song about the landlord's daughter, which is
and she's enjoying it. She's having a good time. We're all having a good time.
No, everyone's having a good time.
There's one person who's having a bad time.
There is the curmudgeon.
They're being sexual. They're singing innuendos.
I don't like it. Yeah.
I love the line. There's that line of, I have it written down. The path that lies between her left toe and her right toe.
Oh my God, it's so cool.
What path is that?
They're so funny.
The riddles. The riddles. Oh, those guys.
It's very cute. It's very cute because I imagine that's how pubs really are, where people kind of spontaneously break into song. I've heard that in the UK, that is a thing. So I want to keep that vision alive in my head. And in this one, it's really cool because it's almost like they're making it up as they go along. Right. I don't know. There's like this spirit of improvisation to it. It's very charming. Something throughout the whole film is there's people who are clearly actors and people who are clearly not actors.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I just can say that in like Oliver, the musical Oliver, there's a whole pa pa, in the that's how it goes. Thank you, Scott. Scott, exactly. Scott's singing. He's got it. So
yeah.
So I say it happens in the pubs. I do, as they would always say. So, but.
I would love to go to a bar that just breaks out in song. That's really all I've been looking for my entire life.
That'll complete this circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. At this point, I wrote down in my notes, is this a musical?
Yeah. I mean, I think it is arguably a musical in a lot of ways because the music is like a character. The music is such a part of the story.
Yes.
And it's how we do get some exposition as well, too. So
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just something that you're not expecting. You know,
Right.
I mean, I know we're supposed to be watching this horror film, and they just keep on like breaking out into song. You know, like
Sure do.
sort of randomly, like a musical would, and that was just a really pleasant surprise. How's that?
Can we talk about the next song?
Yes.
which is the very sensual masturbation against the wall song.
Oh, we're going there already?
What's the next song? The songs are kind of like benchmarks. Oh, there's my cat.
Okay. Is it this one?
That sounds like it.
Can we hear that at all? Kind of. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of naked woman dancing around, banging walls.
Banging walls, and he's banging
like,
walls, and he's humping walls. And
he is sweating profusely. Profuse amount of sweat. And she's kind of like trying to bewitch him, put a little bit of a spell. You can see my cat's rump right here on him. And he's like, I can't, I must resist the sexual. I'm just going to jack off all over this rented room. It's fine. I think he exploded, technically.
I mean, okay, so the landlord's daughter is basically singing a song saying, "Hey, buddy, come on over to my room.
Come on over.
lay your seed."
Then Camigo, yeah.
Okay, so it's a pretty catchy song, first of all. I mean, it really is.
It's charming.
It's a nice song. The young lady is naked, as again, like you said, most people are in this film. Yes,
pretty nude.
Pretty nude. So the question is, if he did go in there and plant his seed,
right?
Would she have actually let him do that? Because then it would have ruined the whole remainder of the plan,
end game.
Right? Yeah.
This is so good. Do you see? Scott is like reenacting this. Producer Scott in the background of my shot. Oh my God! Stop! You're gonna drive the neighbors crazy.
Is he naked? Is he doing that
Not naked.
butt wiggle? That butt wiggle she does?
Nope. And that didn't happen. That part didn't happen.
Oh, okay. That's tonight after the show.
You know what, Neil? I had that same question though. Like, if he had gone in there, if he had done it, would she have said, "Okay, let's do it"?
Personally, I think. I mean, we can only speculate, but kind of what I thought is because they wouldn't want to ruin the plan. They were probably testing that virginity, like how far it could really be pushed, because he needs to have all of those willing and specific components. Yeah. So she probably would have been like, "Oh, never mind, not gonna have sex with you." But just kind of seeing. Yeah, I'm just singing a song, bro. Yeah. That was my thought.
Okay. All right. Scott didn't want me to play the music. I was playing the music, so for everyone to hear at the same time.
I love it.
It's great. Great music.
Are we going to talk about, we're moving on? We're going beat by beat and just throwing out info for each scene? Is that kind of what the deep dive's looking like?
Sandra. Take us on your pagan journey.
Perfect. Oh, please get on my level, because we are having a good fucking time.
Hey, get on the pagan wagon.
The rig, the barley rig, and the corn rig.
And the corn rig, yeah.
So I could be kind of jumping around here a little bit, but I think what's going to happen, because he knows about Rowan's, now she's allegedly a rabbit. He's like, okay, she's a rabbit. I don't know what the fuck. I'm going to go to the goddamn school and see what's up and talk to the teachers and the kids. Seems like a solid plan till you get there and he realizes they are learning the most awesome curriculum and he's horrified. But I love a lot of things about that scene, the school scene and all of that. Mostly, I think it is my favorite song, the Maypole song.
Okay.
with the
It's
little
very, yeah.
British children bouncing around.
It's almost kind of like, to me, it reminds me of like there wasn't a lady who swallowed a fly. She swallowed, because he swallowed the spider, who swallowed the fly, kind of thing. And you're like,
Yes.
yeah, there was the man who laid on the woman, who had the seed, who had the boy, who had the man, and made did the whole thing, made a
Yeah.
died tree, the whole deal.
I love it. And it's like, because in my brain, I'm like, well, that totally makes sense. There's a person who grows up to, be of a sexual age, does a sex act, meets another person, lives their life, dies, reborn again in the circle of life. Now he's a tree or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, makes sense, bro. I accept that. I accept that.
So you're saying the
again-
Lion King was just a retelling of the Wicker Man, is what you're saying, in the Great Circle of Life.
Yeah, they're basically the same film.
Yes, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Aha.
You figured it out, Neil.
I got it.
You hit the pin right on
Nailed
the
it.
head.
That
Yes.
Disney, man.
Those Disney Imagineers, I got them figured out.
Yeah, you were talking about the Wicker Man. I love a maypole. Maypoles are great. I hadn't ever really thought about the phallic part of it, so I did research that a little bit, and that's an interpretation. Some people do interpret the maypole to be kind of a phallic thing like they do in the movie. Some people are like, some folklorists and historians are like, no, it's just something nice people did in a community setting out in the sun when the winter was finally over and they could kind of dance. And the people didn't have cable, so they did all kinds of stuff back then. And I swear to God, when the COVID's over, I want to do a maypole with all of you.
Okay.
We will
Let's
do
it.
that
It's
in honor of 1 year of COVID.
Free, yeah. But it's I love that they made it a especially phallic symbol in the film, because anything that horrifies Sergeant Howie, I'm down. I'm so down.
picking on that poor guy.
No, it's
Jeez.
funny, like everywhere he goes, he just gets like huffier and huffier.
He does.
It's just
He
like-
does.
Until he's like puffed up by the end of the film. Like, he's gonna, oh my god. In Big Trouble in Little China, he's the guy that keeps growing, growing until he explodes in rage.
He is yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I love the dialogue between he and the school teacher. Just kind of like she's really good at kind of playing this game that they're all doing with him, where they tell him just enough to kind of drive him a little batty, but they're also just kind of like, they're like taking it, they're like dangling it, and then they pull it away, and they definitely are enjoying the shock and distaste that they're seeing from him. It's fun up on the board. I didn't catch all of them. I should have paused and gone back, but she has different stuff written up on the blackboard, like a hagstone and a toadstone, and those are both pagan things as well. So that was just kind of a fun little touch, like, oh, those are real things.
Yeah, they're really good at actually. They give him the information typically in a very matter-of-fact way. You know what I mean? What they do tell him, it's very like, oh yeah, this is just the way it is, or here's this or that, and he may have to coerce something, or in this case, from the school teacher, he has to grab the attendance book out of the, right out of the thing. But and of course,
and that's the first time that he finds that the girl really does exist, because up until that point, everyone tells him no. There's,
yeah, she's a hare. She was never there. I don't know. Yeah,
right.
She's dead.
Exactly.
But
but then of course that clues us all in that, oh wait, she really does exist. Aha, the plot thickens. They're up to some kind of shenanigans, or something. But
they're acting all skeezy.
Acting like it. You can't do it.
Those skeezy pagans.
And he is having none of that. So what else did you guys think about the school teacher scene? Did you guys take anything else away from that, the school and the teacher?
I mean, I very much, I like that scene, because I mean, it was very clear, like, the empty desk, and then he gets the book, and I mean, it makes you think like, oh, okay, he's on to something. You know what I mean? It kind of like opens up a new
Yeah.
chapter basically of his investigation. So, for but then of course it, you know, as you know,
Mhm.
to me that
Yeah.
leads you to one of the best parts, which is he then goes to Summer Isles, you know, to his whatever house,
His
castle,
lordship.
his lordship.
Yes.
Yes,
His lordship's estate. Um,
yes,
yeah. Oh my gosh. And that is like, chef, chef's kiss. There it is. Beautiful, beautiful part of the movie. We meet our beloved Lord of the Summer Isle.
yes. Awesome. And a fantastic scene that is, yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean,
It's iconic. Yeah.
it's got one of the best lines of a movie that I've heard in a long time. Granted, this movie was filmed in 1972, so it's been a number of years since the
Yes.
line was said, but it's got one of those wonderful lines. I'm sure you guys probably can guess that line, perhaps.
Yes, but I want you to say it.
You want me to say it? Okay. Let me make sure I say it correctly. So he goes in there and he finds Christopher Lee, and Christopher Lee does the whole. He's like, how he's looking out the window. He sees all the naked ladies jumping around the fire and everything, and Christopher Lee's like, "Oh yeah, does it invigorate you to look at young people jumping around?" And of course, Howie's like, "No, what the hell, dude? That isn't." I just spanked one off last night against the wall. I'm fine, thank you.
I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay.
Get off me. But anyway, but
yeah.
So but they start talking about oh Jesus, what is the line? They go on about asking about what are you guys studying here or something, and then he basically tells them though that he needs to let me find it. It's the best line, something about taking a seat because because shocks are so much better absorbed when the knees are bent. So
Yes.
fantastic line, because looking at this guy, it's like, all right, you're a straight-laced dude. I mean, we find out later, they know a lot more about him than we think they do. But he's like, you're gonna want to sit down for this. So,
because here it comes. It's coming at you. So I kind of hinted at, talking about Christopher Lee earlier. Probably one of my favorite performances of his career. I love the way he's jovial, he's bright, he's very smart. He tells, the sergeant about the history of the island with his grandfather who was, into alchemy and all this, and then his grandpa went there, and then his dad stayed there for the love. And he doesn't really say what his motivation is for being the Lord of the Summer Isle, but I think it's somewhere in between. I think there's a part of him that enjoys this leadership role in this kind of utopia they've created.
Yep. I love that there's that bit between them where they're talking, and so Howie's like, he's like, what is this? I mean, you've got fake biology and fake religion. Have these children never heard of Jesus? And in Summer Isle, Christopher Lee's like, himself, the son of virgin, impregnated, I believe, by a ghost.
Yes,
it's kind of like,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
he points out a hypocrisy there.
Yes.
Of like the fantastical supernatural things you believe in are fine, but the way we believe in them is weird. Yeah, of course, that's just part of the genius of it. And there's in that conversation too. He says, like, haven't the children ever heard of Christianity? Or maybe that was to the teacher. And they say, well, as a comparative religion. And it's just, it's so good because you don't get to see that figure, this white man full of privilege, full of power, an authoritarian figure being turned into the marginalized. And it's very empowering. It's very empowering to get to see him be the one that's kind of sputtering and confused and afraid and challenged,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's very good coming from a heathen such as myself. So
same.
It is. Yes.
I'm a heathen.
Are we heathens? High five.
Heathen. So, Caleb, you're a heathen, aren't you? Heathen.
No, I mean the thing is like I grew up in that Christian.
You grew up in that world,
religion, and all the problems that I personally had with it, this movie brought up. I mean, the whole Virgin Mary, like impregnated by, like I had a huge problem with that, as a kid. Like
Right.
that just did not make any sense.
Yeah.
So,
And people are like, just
I
have
turned
faith.
away from it when I was allowed to and never went back, obviously. So, yeah, I loved that line, Neil, that you brought up earlier. I kind of went like, yes, when he said it.
About the
shock.
having the impregnated by a
born
ghost
from a virgin and impregnated by a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That line spoke to me.
While we're on the topic of Christopher Lee, did either of you find any Christopher Lee nuggets to share with us about his time in the Wicker Man? The Wicker Man.
Are we doing that all now, or are we doing that at the end?
I don't know. I'm asking. I was throwing it at you.
I thought we were doing that all at the end.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, we can.
I mean, if you have a couple nuggets, Caleb, I guess go ahead. I mean, if you want.
Yeah, throw out a few. Otherwise, we're just going to info dump at the end.
All right. Well,
I just want to throw out a few.
He believed in this product so much that he did it for free. He was not paid. He paid for his own, like going out on the press junkets, the promotion tour. He paid his own way because there was no money in the budget to do it. And anyone that wanted to talk only about this movie, he would go and do it. And it's
amazing.
I think that's believing in a product. Unfortunately, the movie didn't do what he hoped it would, but that's no fault of his own. That's more the production company not believing in the film. But
absolutely, they should have had some of that energy.
He did his part, and paid his own way.
And you're hard pressed to find people willing to do that. I think in today's world. And this movie, like we can talk more about the box office or whatever too. It's lived on as a huge beloved cult classic for sure. And it's spurned, like celebrations on the real summer aisle. And, it's become a little bit of a tourist destination and stuff. So it's, his hard work and everything, it kind of ripples on, it lives on for sure.
Yeah. So from the stuff that I saw in the research, this is Christopher Lee. This is one of his favorite roles that he did.
Yeah.
So and then he was, he definitely believed in it. Part of it being he wanted to kind of get out of the Hammer, canon that he was in and kind of move on to something else. So he found this as a completely opposite type of role for him to absorb, obviously, and become, which obviously it was huge, because it was, as you guys know, granted, it's in one way you could say it was the heavy maybe of the film. Another way you could say it was not actually. So it's
absolutely
it's a duplicitous role, perhaps depending on who you are. So
I'm proud of you. That was a really good.
You like that one? Okay, I'm done. Bye.
Well, in a way, it made me think of Sean Connery in Zardoz, where he's trying to break out of this role that he's famous for, and willing to do pretty much anything. Sean Connery took a big pay cut, to do Zardoz. Christopher Lee did this for free just to get away from what they're known for.
Right. It speaks to their craft and to the, how serious they took their work. Yeah.
I wondered if there's any, like, did Christopher Lee say, okay, if there's any back end or any, backloaded stuff in a contract with this that he was expecting to get, so you can defer that payment, or not. I don't know, but that was something I could not find anything that said that specifically. But it's kind of what it sounded like sometimes.
Right. I wouldn't think that he would just do it for free and pay his own way to travel across the pond and go to the United States and
just
doing
I agree.
These interviews, not thinking that he wouldn't get his money back. But but still, good on him.
There's an idealized thing that he did there, which is really cool. I love the way his home is decorated. Lots and lots of antlers, which is another kind of pagan Easter egg. You see the antlers, the horned gods, and different forms of deities and different paganism all over the world, but especially in Europe. Over in that neck of the woods, there's Cernunnos, who is a Gaelic deity of, representing like the wild animals, fertility. And that was kind of cool, like to see those everywhere. It was like, yet again, like when and it's like, I see what you're doing there. I see that.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm trying to. So Christopher Lee, basically, or Summerisle, what's it called? Lordship.
Lord
What was his-
Summerisle. His lordship.
Lordship. Yeah.
Lord Summerisle.
Basically
Yeah.
says so. Howie says, "Hey man, I want to dig up the girl, who is supposedly buried in the graveyard there." And he's like, "Yeah, man, fine. We're religious people. We don't murder each other. We're deeply involved in our religion." And he's like, "Okay, great." So he digs her up, right, with the guy, and finds there's a rabbit in her
A hare.
casket. A hare, sorry. I shouldn't have said a rabbit because they make that point.
Silly
Say,
rabbit.
it's not a rabbit.
Hare.
Hares are
A
for
hare.
kids. Yeah, no. So it's
Another
a hare.
wonderful pagan symbol of rebirth and fertility there too. The hare, the rabbit.
the hare.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's why we have them on Easter. Is that's another absorbed
That's a good
thing
point.
that Christianity sunk its fangs into and said, "Give me that," because it.
What is
Oh, go ahead.
what is the difference between a rabbit and a hare?
I think they're structurally different. Like I think hares are larger. I think they're longer. I think their ears are longer. I've owned a rabbit. My beloved Buttons, rest in power, Buttons. But yeah, thank you. No, we don't do that here. I'm just kidding. Praise Lord Summerisle.
Praise
But I
Lord.
think Oh, yes.
Caleb knows.
Caleb.
Hares tend to be larger than rabbits with longer hind legs and longer ears with black markings. While rabbit fur stays the same color year round, hares change color from brown or gray in the summer to white in the winter.
That's basically what I said.
So good job.
That's exactly what she said. Jeez, Caleb, why are you just repeating what she said already?
Yeah, it's basically.
Thanks for
what I
wasting
said.
our time.
Because she said, I'm not sure.
No, that's totally. I was like, I mean, you look at that when like one's a hare and one's a rabbit. If you looked at them in a lineup, you'd be like, that's a hare, that's a rabbit for sure. Yeah,
In a lineup.
in a lineup, and they've all
Move in.
stolen chocolate
to the left.
candies. Exactly, and they scrunch up their little noses. They're so cute. I love them.
And the rabbit factors into the resurrection of Christ. How?
Well, that's it exactly. It has nothing to do with it, but just they needed to get all of the pagan gentry, the urchins, the working folk. The church needed them to get on board, so they would kind of absorb like all of their traditions and beliefs and stuff, and be like, oh yeah, like we have that too. We totally have that. So it's like the same. Like if you come over here and sit with us and give us like your money, we basically have that. You're not gonna miss it. We have that.
Okay, got it.
That's verbatim what they said.
Merchandising.
Exactly.
Wicker Man the
Exact-
lunchbox. Wicker Man the flamethrower.
100%.
Okay. All right. So I love it though when Howie goes back to Summerisle's house with the hare, right? And just freaking throws it onto the rug where they're sitting there singing a song or whatever. And like neither of them cares whatsoever that he just lobbed a dead freaking hare rabbit
Nope.
at them, and it's just sitting there plop. And the teacher, she's just sitting there like right next to it, like la 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 la, like keeps talking next
Drinking
to the dead
from her
animal.
chalice. Yep.
Yes, and she does not care at all.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know, it's just hysterical. And Summerisle is just like, my good man.
Yeah. They knew he
blah,
was gonna pull
so.
some shenanigans. They knew it, so they're like, he should be coming back any minute now. Like they
Lobbing
said,
dead rabbits
pick it
at
up.
us.
Yep. They're not surprised. They're not surprised.
Oh man. Okay, so then so Mayday comes around. finally, right? He's been warned, get off the island, get away. He tries to go back, but of course his plane is no worky. Something happened to his seaplane. Couldn't take off to go get more coppers to bring him over.
Yeah. And God, just again, the audacity and how I'm disgusted by him. He's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to get back up and I'm coming back here and you're all getting arrested. And it's like, the fuck, dude? Like, I mean, really? Like, okay,
I know.
bro.
And Christopher Lee's like, yeah, man, do whatever you got to do. That's good. Whatever. But I know it's hysterical. I love how they always say coppers. Go get the coppers. Go get more coppers. So,
and he says it with such a beautiful disdain.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Wonderful. Anyway, so then Howie, he's going around house to house. He's like, I'm gonna find this girl. I know she's here somewhere. I'm gonna find Rowan.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going into all your fucking houses. I'm gonna mess up your shit. And it's like, again, the gall of this man. And it's like, oh, okay, sure. He sees some stuff. He sees some things. And he sees a woman in a very tiny bathtub.
Yes.
Hilariously small.
Who sort of invites him in.
Yeah. She's like, hey, I've got room in my tiny tub for one more.
I mean, she kind of goes like, and then she goes, just sort of leans back and like smiles.
So
she's like, you're that douchebag cop. That's right.
So that woman is the librarian. So
oh, really? I didn't even catch that.
Yes. So she's the librarian.
I didn't even notice that.
She basically, there's a much bigger part that was written for her where she tries to do a whole seduction thing with him as well. She actually gets up. She exposes her full body to him. It was filmed, but of course didn't make it into that, to the film. But there's pictures of it. And it's, so it's a whole thing that, they cut down to just like, huh? Kind of like thing where she's like, oh, hello. But
yet another temptation they were throwing out at him to test his metal, no doubt.
Just to double down on his mental toughness, his Christianity prowess, if you will. So
like, what level Christian are you? Are you like a level 10 or like a level 12?
Yes.
And he's going house to house and everybody's getting ready for the big procession and celebration, which processions were something people did on May Day, followed by a big feast. Kind of fun, the people's costumes that they all share with him. John Barleycorn, that's a folkloric figure from British mythologies. Just basically is a story about the importance of the harvest. The chemist is the salmon of knowledge, which is an Irish myth as well. Little things like that I thought was cute. The hobby horse, too, that's an association with an old fertility rite in the UK. So it was some kind of more fun little Easter eggs in there.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was great. Wonderful. So he's when he's chasing everything, all the different, what is it, the horse?
Well, that's like a dragon hobby horse that you got going on with that one.
Oh, a dragon. Oh, okay.
Yeah. With his little clack, clack, and he like runs around the corner. Clack,
mouth,
clack. So it's so cute. So cute.
Chasing that guy all over town, trying to find out, what the heck they're doing. And he hears them, I guess, talking about we're going to come back at 3:00 and we're going to march to the beach, blah, 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 kind of thing. So, but he goes back, I guess technically that's what, day 2, I guess, right? When he goes back to the green man inn or whatever it is. And
yes, to take his nap.
Take his nap,
like half an hour or whatever it was.
I'm gonna lay down for half hour and then I'm gonna continue to spoil your fun. Yeah.
Yes, I have to recharge.
It's my impression of Howie.
So and then they give him the hand that's got the fingers lit. Is that a thing, Sandra?
That is a thing. That is a thing, my friend. Oh, that is a hand of glory.
Ah.
Which should be like my magician's stage name. Hand of Glory.
Hand of Glory.
Coming to Vegas 2023. So a Hand of Glory is a candle that is made from the fat of a hanged man, somebody who's been executed on the gallows. So you make a candle out of that, and it has like some different magical powers, purportedly different stories about makes people freeze in place. It can make people turn invisible, or it can put people to sleep in a dreamlike spell. And that's kind of what they, her and her dad are kind of like whispering about is this should like knock him out. So that was another fun little thing, like, hand of glory. I missed one too, and that's the little children marching through the streets with their poppets saying, "We carry death out of the village." There's lots of different accounts of that sort of thing, of the urchins dressing up a poppet or a doll of some kind and, ceremoniously carrying ill out of the village. So, and we let the kids do it.
Wow. Okay. So, okay, that's real. Okay. It's interesting because what if it worked and it put him to sleep? Then he wouldn't get up, and I don't know.
Then they would just drag him probably down to the Wicker Man and say, "Hey, you're gonna be in there now."
Right? Shh, you're still sleeping. It's just a dream.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is all a dream, Sergeant Howie. It's fine. But I think they came up with some contingency plans, in case. If this happens, then we want to have this backup. And if this happens, we need to have this backup.
So
like
Sandra,
they can tell right away that it's not the landlord as the fool. They're like, it's fucking Howie.
Right. Oh, no question. So Sandra, serious question from Todd in the chat. The glory hand, how is that related to the glory hole?
How is it related to the glory hole?
Yes.
Because if you want to plug up the hole, you just stick the hand in it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you light it from the other end, and the spectator then falls asleep.
So whatever comes through the hole, you light on fire is what you're saying. So
light it up.
Light it up. Okay. Light it up on fire. They do. They have a cream. They have a cream for that. So it's okay.
Well, I've heard about the cream.
Oh, another little fun one that you see on a corpse in the movie is the coins on the eyes. We see that especially, in Greek culture, where it's to pay the ferryman. And that's, kind of the idea is when people die to put the coins on their eyes or under their tongue, so they can pay in the afterlife for their transport into the next world. I also found a fun thing that said they used to do that to keep the eyes from springing open too.
Oh, jeez.
Because, sometimes bodies, like the mouth hangs open and the eyes pop open and they do all kinds of shit. Those rascally corpses.
It's actually more common than not that a corpse's mouth will in fact open up when you die.
Yeah. They put little things in it.
Your eyes don't close nicely and your mouth doesn't stay closed. It's more like a kind of thing. So
it's real attractive.
Yeah, no, it is.
Real attractive.
What's it like again, Neil?
It's kind of like a
Oh, okay.
I would say that's pretty accurate.
For those of you in the podcast, that is a head tilt, eyes open, mouth slack jawed, and tongue hanging out.
Neil, I dare say you've been a corpse before because you did a really good impression of one.
Did you like that? Thank you.
It was really good.
I have been accused in my lovemaking of being a corpse. So we'll see what happens.
That would be it. That would be it.
Yes.
Did you learn all your lovemaking prowess from Sergeant Howie, who was like...
It was more from Faces of Death, actually, where I learned most of it. So
somewhere between the two, your formative years.
Yeah, exactly. So, perfectly normal in the 80s, Sandra.
It was normal then.
That's what we did.
Learning about sex and death all at the same time.
I love it.
Aren't they the same thing? Are you telling me they're not? Wait a minute.
Very similar. We'll explain it to you later.
Okay, please do.
I don't have the time.
I heard once you have your first orgasm, that's the end of your life. You just kind of expire. So,
yes.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Okay.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it when you're older.
The little death.
Thank you. Moving on. Okay. So for some reason, the hand of glory does not work on Howie.
No, because he's like, "Gah," and like springs into action and is like, I'm gonna hold my breath and then I'm gonna tie up the landlord guy because I'm, I'm
Yes.
basically James Bond.
Pretty much.
It's his sergeant training.
Yes, all of that training comes back to him in
It
an
all
instant.
kicks in.
Yeah, he's
The
like, this
academy
is what
training.
I've been waiting years for. He channels all of that sexual frustration into this plan. But it's hilarious because they're already like, we thought you might do that.
Right. So he takes the landlord's costume, which is of course is the costume of the jester,
The fool.
fool,
Yeah.
and he joins them on their parade to the beach, basically doing his little dance.
And like I said, because he has no fucking rhythm. I'm not saying a lot of people in that procession did have rhythm, but they knew right away. They're like, oh yeah, Howie did that thing we thought he was going to do, and he took the costume, didn't he? That's totally
Yes.
Howie. Yeah,
Totally.
And he's like, he's really bad at it, and like even Christopher Lee's like, come on, man, put your back
He
into
is.
it, or yeah, it's so good.
Yep. You call that
Christopher Lee.
dancing? Come
Yes.
on. Yes.
Christopher Lee, it's so funny because they don't really make him look like a woman per se. They make him look like some sort of a goth teenager boy. Because he has like the long, straight black
Yep.
wig and then just like white, like grease paint. And they're like, that's a woman. I don't know what you're talking about. You've clearly never seen a woman because that's a woman right there. It's what women do.
See, I sort of like went like, oh, so that's what young Saruman looked like. Neil, that's a
Yeah, that was yes.
Neil, that's a Lord
that
of the
was
Rings
it.
joke.
When he was at like Wizard College, when he was in Hogwarts with
He
Gandalf.
was in Hogwarts, yeah, exactly.
I thought he looked more
Only
like,
he wasn't. Oh, he wasn't a Slytherin though. He was actually like a Hufflepuff, but he's still just dressed like that. Well, Harry Potter.
you guys are saying words, but I'm hearing just sounds. Like Hufflepuff and southern words and sounds. Click, click, clack, clack. So
Knick knack, paddywhack.
Howie's on his way, thinking he's gonna find Rowan as a sacrifice. That's what he figures. Okay, they're gonna sacrifice this girl. I'm gonna catch them red-handed. I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna get the girl. So they get there finally, and of course, actually, Rowan is there. And he's like,
Right.
"Holy crap,
He's
Rowan!"
totes there.
And he's like, "I'm done. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't want to get ahead because there's that cool scene where they do the whole the 6 swords
To
or
make
whatever.
the
They have to,
pentagram.
yeah, they gotta put their heads in the
Yes,
sword. Every person has to
Yeah.
go in. That's a really
They
cool
make
scene.
they make a 6-pointed star. That's really fun
Yes.
because they're obviously, this is revelry. They're having a good time. They're going through the motions, this ritual, this celebration, and of course it's this big shock when it's the hair and you think they're really dead, and Howie's like, oh my god, I'm so ready, and it's Rowan, and everyone's like, it's Rowan, and you as the audience, you're like, oh my god, this really was just like a good-natured parade through the streets. Like,
It was. Yeah. No, absolutely. So like, yeah,
Right.
of course, good old Howie being the freaking Boy Scout that he is.
Dudley Do-Right that he is.
man of action.
Yep.
He's
He
like,
just takes
come
off,
on,
man.
Rowan. And she goes along with it and kind of leads him, oh, we go this way. Oh, we go that way. Leads him on this, chase, basically, until they get to the other side. And she's so cute. She's like, did I do a good job? And
Yep.
they're like, you did great, honey. She's so adorable. Really quickly, because we kind of, when they were doing their little ritual part, they talk about their 2 kind of gods they reference, which this is kind of an interesting part where they threw a bit of fiction into it, because they reference Nuada and they say that's like the sun deity, but Nuada is actually a king in Irish mythology that's part of a race of a supernatural race of gods. So that was kind of a borrowed name that they kind of fudged a little bit. And then Avellano, I don't know exactly how to pronounce that, but they say that's like their orchard goddess. That is that was something that the writer made up, because that was a word that's derived from the Gaelic word or Druid word for apple trees. So they were like, oh, we'll kind of take that and fudge it to fit this. And I thought that was kind of cool, because in a way they didn't really defame any actual like pagan religions in that kind of way, because they were like, You know, it's kind of like, it reminded me of in The Craft, like how they have Manon, who's not a real god. You know, it's like, we made this part up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. It gets deep, man. It gets deep.
I got you for that. I got you.
Thank you. God bless you, Sandra.
Yes.
Summer Isle bless you, Sandra.
Summer Isle. Yeah, that's. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about the end of this movie, you guys.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Yes.
So, of course, long story short, too long, didn't read. This was all the setup. We got Howie to the island because he checks a lot of boxes we need for this, right? Because the crops failed last year and we need a sacrifice. Howie protests. Suddenly, he's a man of science and not a man of God, and is talking about how things didn't fail for scientific reasons. And he says, you know, he's trying to turn the crowd, and he's like, you know, it's going to be you, Summer. Next year, they're going to come for you. And very interestingly, you watch Christopher Lee in this scene, and I don't know that he actually believes in any of this. I think that he likes to keep the people happy. He likes to have, like I said, he has his beautiful fiefdom utopia. But I don't think he actually believes any of this, but he needs to do these things to have control of the people. And if you watch his face in this scene, I challenge you to tell me what he really thinks, because I'm not sure. Regardless, how he's getting in the Wicker Man. and he's like, I am a martyr for Jesus. I'll get in the Wicker Man. Up he goes.
Wow. Sandra, no, I like that a lot. I'm very glad you said that, because I don't know either. You know, ultimately, I mean, you know, he offers beer to the ocean. I mean, he then ale, yes. And then I mean, a hare, a rabbit, ale, beer. But then he basically, then he's, you know, you're right though. I mean, does he believe it or not? I don't know. But like you said, does he just want to maintain that, you know,
status quo,
that control over the island by just saying, he's like, your crops are gonna fail next year also, and then they're gonna burn you. And he's like,
they will not fail.
They won't fail.
Yeah.
So
he's very confident. There's so many different ways to interpret the end of this movie. I mean, because you could see it as Howie, the good, strong Christian, sticking to his guns, martyr for his cause. You could see the pagans, you know, kind of living up to their cause. You could see Summer Isle, is he just trying to keep everybody happy and to, you know, keep the myth and the joy going because he loves this place and he loves these people. When I sit back and look at it and I see him ranting and raving in the Wicker Man, and I see the pagan people swaying and singing their songs, I personally just see two separate groups of zealots.
I mean,
they're both just trying to hold the party line and stick to their guns and their faith. And I kind of sit back and look at it and I'm like, well, y'all are fucking crazy. All y'all. Like, it's just different ways of looking at it.
There's the cool little exchange I like between Willow and the librarian and Howie right before they put him in, where basically like Willow, who's the landlord's daughter, says, you know, we needed a man who would come here of his own free will. And the librarian says, a man who would come here with the power, you know, of a king by representing the law, you know, and then a man who would be here as a virgin. And they're like, you know, a man who would come here as a fool, basically, because you think you're freaking all that, and you're the, you know, and you got the power of a king because of your Christianity beliefs and your policeman stuff. So you know what? You're the perfect person to shove in that thing.
Yeah,
so
it's perfect, and
lines.
Absolutely, that dialogue is gold.
It is
absolutely gold. The Fool is a character in the tarot deck as well. Like, he's the first card in the major arcana of the tarot, and the Fool typically represents starting out on a journey, new beginnings. It can also represent naivety, taking a leap of faith. Also not looking before you leap. And it's just really interesting when you think of the fool in this film as the fool in the tarot deck. Look into that. Put that one on your mind grapes too.
Interesting.
Yeah,
And this
see
is
how
where
that evens out.
and where I very much respect Edward Woodward for his acting chops, and this point is at the end when he realizes what's going to happen, and then just the sheer terror and the oh Jesus Christ, oh, and he just goes into this big bellowing thing. It's just like it was really good, really moving.
He's a
I thought.
great actor, and
So.
I mean the fact that his character like annoys and grosses me out so much is a testament to his commitment to the role. Like he's great.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you guys interpret the end of the film? Because obviously I've said kind of my ways is that basically all religion's kind of nuts.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm kind of more on your wavelength. So, I mean, Caleb's been around when I've gotten some really heated arguments with some of our friends who are on the other side of the ocean, who believe deeply in the whole Jesus Christ dying for your sins and on everything in there.
Yeah.
I've gotten to a screaming match once or twice with this one particular person. So yeah, I'm more on your side, where I typically, I believe in myself, and I think what I do onto others is how I want it done unto myself, kind of that whole thing.
Reciprocity. So, yeah.
Basically, I think you should live your life as a good person and do good for people wherever you can. But
yeah,
likewise, I don't think that I should burn in hell because I don't necessarily believe in something. So
exactly. And it's interesting how so many different religious and practices, they have their rituals and they have their things to do to, unite people and to make them feel like they're part of something and part of a community. And that can be so good and so beautiful, or it can also be really bad. And it's interesting, this movie shows how it kind of doesn't matter. But if you belong to, kind of these organizations, arguably cults in so many different senses, that you'll kind of do things because you think it's right. And that could reflect on Christianity or any religious belief.
Yeah. Caleb?
For me, religion always boils down to control. It's just a way to control people, to get them to live their life a certain way, to just go along and get them to do what needs to be done,
including taking your money.
That is part of it, absolutely. Part of it is power, and so I didn't necessarily agree with Howie or the pagans in this movie, like you, Sandra. They're all, in my opinion, they're all kind of wrong. In this case, it ends up that the pagans win because there's strength in numbers. Like if they had gone off their island and gone into Scotland or into England, they would have been like wiped out immediately. All the Christians there were, but they had sort of stacked the deck so that they had all the power, and so therefore they won.
You're totally right. There's a thing of the tables being turned a little bit. Not to say that Christians haven't and still aren't persecuted for their beliefs and haven't been before, but arguably pagans of all different shades have kind of gotten it worse. Looking at you, all you different witch trials and everything. And in this one, it's kind of like when we were talking earlier about the marginalized figure is the one being kind of terrorized. And it's kind of a little bit of like, I don't want to say eye for an eye type of, but it's like, well, they're kind of taking one back after so many have been done to them. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Talk to me. Tell me things.
Well, I know. Okay, so Caleb, what do you want to? We're already doing freaking long, so go ahead.
All right.
Any bits you want to throw in there about the making of? Whoa. Hey, Caleb.
Hi.
We just saw Caleb's house.
So my task was set issues and production woes, and I know we're running pretty long, so I'm not sure uh how
Do it.
how
Just go.
how deep you want to, because could be kind of long, but so Britt Eklund, who played Willow, was pregnant during the shoot and only agreed to be filmed from the waist up during the naked dance segment.
Oh.
A body double was brought in after she left to film the butt shot, the backside shot, but she was not aware of this. And to this day, it is said that Eklund will not autograph any stills of her backside because it isn't her.
Wow, that's cool. Interesting.
Should I go through all of this? Because I really do have a lot.
Well,
Yes, do it.
All right.
Or you can pick and choose if you want, whatever what you think is
Pick the best.
appropriate.
So Rod Stewart launched an attempt to block the release when he learned that his then girlfriend, Britt Eklund, appeared naked in the movie. An unnamed source countered, "If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, she will remain in the film." To which Stewart replied, "Hey, that's catchy."
Oh my God.
So during the filming, this is supposed to take place in the spring, but it was actually October and November in Scotland, and it was frickin' cold. So they actually glued on leaves and blossoms to some of the trees to make it look more spring-like. They also imported some trees in to make it look, more springy. Let's see. Director Robin Hardy. I don't know if we said that who the director was during any of this. Anyway, this movie was directed by Robin Hardy. The cinematographer was Harry Waxman, and they disagreed frequently during filming. Hardy didn't like Waxman personally, and was frustrated that Waxman was forced on him by the production company British Lion.
Ooh.
While filming was taking place, British Lion was bought by EMI Films. According to scriptwriter Anthony Schaefer, the heads of British Lion declared the film unsellable after screening it. The company's advertising executives were appalled by the movie's ending and wanted screenwriter Schaefer and director Hardy to reshoot the scene, suggesting a sudden rainstorm which would douse the Wicker Man flames and save Sergeant Howie's life.
Boo.
They refused.
Yeah, they're like, fuck no.
The negative and outtakes of the movie were stored in a vault in Shepperton Studios. After the company was purchased by new owners, they ordered the vault to be cleared, of all of the old material. The vault manager accidentally put the negatives, which had just arrived from the lab, with the ones that were to be destroyed, and they were incinerated.
What?
It was suggested that the band Magnet smoke pot to get into the mood, but ended up laughing so hard that they couldn't play their instruments.
That's really cute. That's really. Oh, there goes my beer. What was left of it?
Oh dear.
Continue. Continue.
Let's see. It was suggested, sorry, I already read that one. While in the structure, the goat above Edward Woodward's head peed on him because it was so scared during the burning.
Poor goat.
And then finally, this is something that Neil found.
I know Neil.
That we thought were kind of interesting. So this was written by Peg Cutland, and Peg was the nurse for the entire production of The Wicker Man.
Right, okay.
So she says, and I apologize, the script on this is a little wonky, but we'll get through it. I answered an advert for a trained nurse to work on location for the filming of The Wicker Man. I had no previous experience of nursing on films, so it was with butterflies in my stomach that I found myself rubbing shoulders with Edward Woodward, Britt Eklund, Christopher Lee, and the supporting cast. At the beginning of November, filming took place at Castle Kennedy. The ground was hard with frost. I soon discovered that my main duty seemed to be dishing out aspirins first thing in the morning. Accidents were minor. Edward Woodward stubbed a toe when he was in his bare feet on a freezing beach at Burrow Head. That caused a great flap. It could have meant having to hold back on filming and losing money, which apparently they did not have much of. I spent a sleepless night before the burning of the Wicker Man. Before the Wicker Man there. A stuntman was to jump from the burning effigy. I was glad to see an ambulance appear before the performance. All was well. Most of my time was spent sitting in a bus. When the filming was in Creetown, I had the luxury of a seat in the Ellegowan Hotel Lounge. I was paid £5 per day plus my meals, but occasionally I was used as an extra. Don't ask me why, but I am to be seen in the film watering a grave in the churchyard.
Yes.
I received an extra £3 on the occasions when I was filmed. My nursing experience was used when I was asked to put a stump bandage on an old lady's arm. This was really spooky. After the bandage had been applied, they put her in a coffin with pennies over her eyes. We talked about this earlier.
We did.
I kept poking her to make sure that she had not had a heart attack. It was all quite an experience. My eldest grandson informs us that it is now a cult film. At his wedding 2 years ago, I was surrounded by young men from London who wanted to meet his famous granny, Peg Cutland.
That's such a cute story. Oh my God. I totally love her role watering the grave. I thought that was awesome. I think she's watering a tree that's been planted there.
In the grave,
more so than just a grave. But yeah.
There was some interesting, the woman nursing a baby while holding an egg.
Fertility symbols. Yeah.
So.
I should also throw in there, I did some research on the Wicker Man as a thing, and all ancient peoples, including the Druids and all the ones from the Bible and everybody, they were always sacrificing people. And like, you'll be hard pressed to find an ancient culture that wasn't sacrificing somebody. The Wicker Man itself, it's debated if that was actually used as a vehicle to sacrifice humans or not. It could have been, or it could have been just burned in effigy. The Romans, they were conquering, and they're like, these people are crazy. They put somebody in a big man and they light it on fire. But it's like, were you saying that for reals, or were you just saying that because you wanted them to look like really savage? So I don't know.
Yeah, I read some things that said that it might have been actually Julius Caesar that started this rumor of, them burning people in a Wicker Man.
Yes. And I love it. I love that it is at this point ancient gossip about, like, these people, we want to take over and we want to conquer them. But it's cool because they're savages. They don't know what's up.
Yeah.
Dang.
All right. So I have a few more tidbits things to go through. Tidbits. We're running long, but you know what? It's okay. This movie deserves it.
Give us tidbits.
Okay. So
free drinks.
Free drinks. No free drinks. Free drinks. Okay.
We demand free drinks.
Like Caleb mentioned, EMI had purchased British Lion. So the head dude over there, basically Michael Dealey, kind of said, this film's kind of whacked, so we're gonna take this thing and somehow I'm gonna figure a way to make this more marketable. So he took it over to our good buddy Roger Corman, who of course we all know, and said, hey Roger, do you want to release this thing in the United States? If so, what needs to be done to it in order for you to do so? So Roger apparently said, you know what, you need to cut out like 13 minutes or so of this film, then I can show it in all the drive-ins and everything. And so Michael Dealey thinking, okay, that's a good idea because then Roger will take the movie and we'll get U.S. distribution. And then even more importantly, I can take it back to Britain and then I can show it as a double feature with the other film that British Lion did that we also now own called Don't Look Now, which of course we know about that movie.
We love
So what? So he figured he can make a double feature of Don't Look Now and The Wicker Man, which can you imagine watching those films together? That's
That'd be fucking rad. That would be cult show front row.
That would
we're like singing and dancing and having a good time.
Yeah. When the cult film series comes back, we know what
we're doing it.
Seriously,
we're fucking doing it.
Talk about spanking one off against a wall. I mean, you show those two movies together.
It will be
you're like boom.
A lot. It'll be a lot. It'll be a whole lot. Yeah.
It'll be a lot of black light that night.
No, don't bring out the black light. Do not.
Anyway, okay, so Roger Corman ended up not buying the film, believe it or not, but Dealey still went and took those suggestions and did that cut of the film, which is what basically gives you that 87-minute theatrical cut that we are discussing right now. There are several other cuts of the film that are out there in one form or another. The second being a 94-minute cut that basically incorporates more of the, I can't remember now if it is more of the version. It came out in 1977, by the way, because Robin Hardy said he moved to the United States after this film failed. He's like, screw you guys in the UK. I'm going to the States. You pissed me off. And the film was shown a couple times at like test screenings in San Diego and in Atlanta, and the people apparently saw it and loved it, but it never really got like a full theatrical release here. So he said, you know what, I'm going to see if I can get the gang back together, which was the original producer and the screenwriter and Christopher Lee, and go and try and find some of that original footage and recut the film. And they did, and they found some more footage, made the 94-minute cut, and released it basically in 1977 in the United States.
Wow.
That cut was therefore, I think, made its way onto a Lionsgate Blu-ray release eventually. And there's also a 99-minute cut of the film, which exists, which incorporates more of basically there's stuff from that was cut out originally from Christopher Lee and Howie on the island talking about apples and going into a greenhouse and how you make all the apples and everything. That makes sense because if you see the original theatrical cut later in that scene where Howie and Christopher Lee are walking together, Howie's eating an apple. He's eating pieces of an apple. So it probably comes from that scene earlier in the greenhouse where he's talking about how we make our apples and my grandfather and the whole thing even more.
That's like their big export is apples.
Exactly. So there's also some stuff from the mainland that was cut out that does more. It's more exposition basically. It talks about Howie and his his religiousness, his Christianity, basically, and the fact that he doesn't have sex before marriage. And there's scenes in a church, and Jake's making his appearance. You got to have Jake in the show.
I love him so much.
But he's grabbing my chair. He's trying to come over. Okay. So you got the mainland stuff between also the police officers are making fun of Howie in some scenes as well, and about the fact that he is such a devout Christian and won't have relations with a young lady, his fiance, basically, before he's married. So there's a lot of stuff that happens before in the mainland. Not a lot. There's some stuff in the mainland that happens beforehand before he gets over there. Anyway, so all that is included in the 99-minute cut. Now, when you go online and you look at other things, there's a lot of different times. It's kind of funny because there's the 87-minute theatrical cut, which sometimes you might see it listed as 88 minutes. And then there's a 94-minute cut, which might be listed as 95 minutes. And then there's a 99-minute cut that might be listed as 100 minutes or even a little bit more. And I think that has to do with the fact that there's the PAL versus the NTSC versions between the United States and the England, that when there's the one frame difference basically. And when you add up those one frame per minute for entire length of film, it probably adds another minute or two possibly, to that movie. So that's probably where those discrepancies are coming from. So just so you guys know, I was so goddamn curious to know what the 99-minute film looked like. I tracked it down and found a DVD available on eBay, and I bought it. So,
oh my God!
We're supposed to get it hopefully in 2 weeks or so. When we do, we're gonna watch it and we're gonna come back and report to you guys about the differences, so we can actually see what the difference is.
This is so exciting because
Wow,
this is the only
that's
version
cool.
I've ever seen. Is the one
I
we
know,
were
right?
talking
Well, you
about.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get the other ones, I guess, except
Good
for that
job, Ned.
Muchas gracias. But the 94-minute one, I guess, is more easily available because it's a more recent release, apparently. But
Wow.
anyway, okay. Popular culture. How does the Wicker Man? How did it fare in popular culture? And there were some pretty cool things that happened because of this film. Because as you know, we obviously quite like this film, but so do other people, believe it or not.
Classic, cult classic.
Yes. So there was in 1992 there was an album called "Souls at Zurg" by Northern California band, believe it or not, all called Neurosis, which features features a Wicker Man effigy on the cover as an homage to the film. Of course, there's Iron Maiden, right? The infamous British metal band that did an actual Wicker Man song in 2000, I think that was. In May of 2016, Radiohead released a music video song called "Burn the Witch," which I guess was made in stop motion animation and has a storyline that's basically very much kind of parallels that of the Wicker Man.
Cool.
There was a roller coaster actually created in 2018 at a theme park called Alton Towers in Staffordshire, England. That basically it's called Wicker Man, and it's a basic coaster where the roller coaster goes through a 6-story Wicker Man 3 times that is on fire.
We have to go.
I know, right?
We
gotta
have
go.
to go. We have to go right now.
Oh my
This is
God.
amazing. It's the best news ever.
Best news. Do it. All right. We'll take a cruise ship. It'll be no problem. Cruise ship. We're there.
Cruise ship. Nothing bad happens on a cruise.
Nope, nothing at all. Okay. Reviews. You might be wondering, how were the reviews for Wicker Man at the time? I have an answer for you. They were good and bad. Here we go. All right. Here's a bad one from Gary Arnold of the Washington Post. What accounts for the curious appeal of such a pretentiously amateurish scare movie? Surely not the raggedy direction of Robin Hardy, obviously struggling with his first feature, and must be the softcore sex. The illusion that Summer Isle is an out-of-the-way paradise where you can get all the action you crave. So that is
wow. Somebody's a little
Post.
jelly. Wow. He sounds like a jellyfish.
He sounds like he's a devout Christian and repressed. All right. How about another bad one from Janet Maslin of the New York Times? I'm gonna try to be nice about the Wicker Man because it seems to have been made in all seriousness, and because a film journal somewhere has proclaimed it a classic of its kind. What kind? Question mark. The film is handsomely photographed, and it includes good performances from Edward Woodward as the policeman and Diane Cilento as the school marm, Miss Eklund, who is as convincing as a Scottish lass as the little dead girl is as a rabbit, is memorable in another way, as in her dance. The song lyrics, which are perfectly hilarious, are the best thing the movie has to offer.
Wow, she really just did not have a good time.
She did not care for it.
She had a bad time.
All right, how about a couple good ones?
Yes.
Please.
All right, this is the most popular one. Cinefantastique magazine says Anthony Schaefer's occult masterpiece is a Citizen Kane of horror films. Don't miss this unique film if you must travel 100 miles to see it.
Love it.
And of course,
Agreed.
Anthony Schaefer was a screenwriter of the film.
And that's a tag that followed it, the Citizen Kane of horror films.
Citizen Kane of horror films.
A very long time. Still does.
That's cool. Yeah.
Okay, one more good one. Bruce Williamson from Playboy magazine says a unique, imaginative, thinking man shocker. If you like cliffhangers, hypnotic spells, and edge of the seat stuff, see The Wicker Man.
I like all those things, so I should see The Wicker Man.
That's right. And then Ann Bilson from The Guardian in 2010 basically said it's one of the most influential horror films of all time and named it one of the top 5 horror films of all time.
My beloved Ari Aster, you can see a lot of his influence and from his work. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And then finally, Scott, this is that part with that picture that we were talking about. If you could put that thing up. I found this awesome little thing online, which is a press release, basically, or a screening press release for the Wicker Man in 1977. It's from San Francisco area. So I thought this was kind of cool because basically we get these releases of screenings where you can come watch a screening before it comes out. So this is the actual release that was issued for the San Francisco area. And one of the places, Caleb, that you could go watch it was the old Variety screening room over on 582 Market Street, which is where Caleb and I have been not 100 times, maybe 50 times to watch screenings over the years. And they screened it at this screening room way back in the day that we've been to a bunch of times. So
do you remember the first time we went there?
We did. It was for the Encino Man, right?
Good job,
man.
Wow. This is a very romantic moment.
Yeah, this is the bro hug moment. So this release came out and they screened it in San Francisco, a couple different places. And it was kind of fun because it meant something to me. And I thought it would to Caleb because again, they screened it at a room where Caleb and I have been to many times to watch films. So
that's cool. It's history.
It's history, baby.
I love it.
All right, that's it. Put the fork in me because that's all I got for you.
I have one last closing thought I wanted to say about the Wicker Man and how much I love it. We all know I love paranoia. We all know I love nihilism, inevitable dread. Those are like some of the things I love. Cults, folklore. This movie just so many things like that I love. It's one of those where it's like, every once in a while you feel like there's a movie that someone's like, hey, I made this for you because I think you'll really like it. And I was like, oh, thank you. I really did like it.
Yes. This movie was made for Sandra, no question.
That's all I got.
That's all you got. I have one more thing too.
Okay.
So remember when I said, I was like, is this a musical? Well, apparently halfway through filming, Robin Hardy said, we're making a musical.
There you go.
And the seed and the hole in the ground and the lady and the death and the tree and the man and the wicker.
So I don't know if that's, so I don't know. Do we consider this a musical? Is it a horror film?
Yes, it's all of the above. Yes. It's a musical folk horror thriller.
Is it just amazing? It's you can't be categorized.
defies
you can't put it into a box.
Nope.
It is the box.
It is the box made of wicker that you light on fire.
All right. Well, we hope that maybe you learned a little something. Maybe you had seen it before and you just said, oh yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. I'm going to watch that film again. Something we may have hopefully imparted onto you. It may just be the fact that I'm a heathen. I don't know. That's okay. So whatever.
I'm a dirty heathen. I'm not just a dirty heathen. I'm a dirty one.
All right. Caleb is the savior of the group. Maybe Scott. I know Scott and Caleb were raised right. Sandra and I were thrown in the gutter as we were born.
Producer Scott's pretty heathenistic.
What? I know. He's married to Sandra.
The evil seeps through.
No, he secretly goes to church every week and does 100 Hail Marys for his marriage. So
when you said Hail Mary, I totally thought of like the football pass. So that's where my mind goes.
Good enough.
Sneaks away to go to confession.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We do greatly appreciate it. Your chat. You guys are wonderful. Thanks for hanging with us for 2 hours. 2 freaking hours. Thank you so much for hanging out. Podcasters, we love you. We love you.
We love you.
We're the podcasters.
Pod people.
Pod people. Potters.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potters. For those of you that are in your huffle lumps and dingo wangos or whatever you are. So
huffalumps and woozles. Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, you guys. So we'll see you next week. Caleb's gonna pick, so it's probably not gonna be horror.
We'll see. Bye.
All right. Pismo Mark, East Washington, and Todd, and Lewis, and Michael, and Mindy, and Laura, and Hungry Boy, and Space Face, and all the other people who haven't chimed in yet.
The turkey lurkies, the late watchers.
Yes, Doc Pretorius as well is in there. I forgot about Doc. You guys, thank you so much for joining us.